I never leave the house without my strap. I'ma keep that. Cause off and I'm talking that flap. We gon' sweep that, yeah. You gotta feel my pain. Look, it has been a long time struggling in the trenches. I've been out here hustling and been trying to get rich. You don't know my struggling, so you don't feel this. All my life I had to go and get a guidance, my witness. I never need a...
So first thing you guys want to do is make sure that you always comb out the waves. I'm taking my time. I'm making sure that his crown gets combed out properly, checking his pattern, checking the hair. One thing that I like about waves is that you can't go wrong. About 9 times out of 10, if you just follow this pattern the same way I'm combing it, the same way he brushes it, is the same way you're going to cut it. So it's almost dummy proof, but you want to start in the crown because this is a precautionary method. This is something that you want to take your time and just follow the direction that the hair is growing. So now that we've knocked the crown out the way, we're going to go ahead and debulk the rest of the hair. We're going to lay it down. I'm going to go over this multiple times just so I can get it nice and even, nice and smooth, so that those waves begin to pop. My boy, he hasn't had a haircut in a couple months and he's been messing around with it himself, but we knew that he was going to come out. He drove all the way from Fort Walton, Florida. This is my boy Ward, and he's a barber as well. So it was cool to have him come. This is my first time cutting his hair. I told him, bro, this is going to be the best haircut you've ever had. And you guys have to stay tuned because this is probably the best video that you've ever seen. Best transformation. Starting off, we're going to set this guideline in with our trimmers. And now we're going to debulk the area in the back with the number 2 all the way closed on my Andis Purple Masters. Normally what I'll do open, halfway, quarter, closed, but you guys are going to see this time around that the method is open and closed. So I love using the masters because they have a long cutting range. The number 1 closed and the masters no guard all the way open are very, very similar lengths. So you guys are going to see me basically take this line out that I put in the back, not really needing a half guard. I will pull it out just for a little detail cleanup work, but I really won't need it. So here's my number 1 all the way open. And here it is closed. And you see that line is coming out. I think that's the beauty of the masters. You can just go open and closed if you want, but I definitely suggest that you use the corners when you do it, just so you're not taking out too much of the length. You don't want to create another line. As you can see, it's all the way open. Now it's closed, and watch it come out. This is a very simple method. So now I flip my clippers over and I'm just debulking this area with the grain because I don't want to take that bulk out of there. That's actually a wave on the bottom as well as a crease from his do-rag. And here's my purple 0. I really didn't need it, but I'm OCD, so I pulled it out anyway. But to save time, you guys can skip that part. So right now I'm going in with my Babyliss clippers, and I will be going open, halfway, quarter, close, just getting some fine detail work in. So now I set in my guideline. This is going to be a low taper, so I'm making sure that my guidelines are much smaller and that they stay a lot lower. So that was all the way open. Then I closed them up. Now I come back with my masters just because they do have a longer cutting range, and I'm going to blend in from where I was just working with those Babyliss clippers. This video is going to be very detailed. You guys stick around. You're going to see every aspect of this haircut. Man, his beard is going to be fire. We're going to trim it up, get the surgical blade out, and you guys do not want to miss this end result. Stick around. Now I have my number 1 guard, and now it's closed. Here's my half guard. Closed it up, and I'm just removing that weight right there on the sideburn. Now I got my masters all the way open, as you can see, and I'm going up just another 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Very small guidelines because I'm going to be working in a small section and I want very detailed looks. All the way open, all the way closed. And I'm using corners to make sure that I do not create another line. So here's my purple 0. And as you can see, I'm working the lever a little bit more just because I have to expand this area. I want to stretch the fade just a little bit. I don't want it to look like it's just a weight line over a taper. I want it to blend in from that longer length all the way down to that shortest length. So now that I'm done with that, I'll pull out my Bronze Series 9 shavers and I'm going to bald it out just a little bit more. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm debulking this area with my number 2. And then I'm basically blending into a number 2. That's the magic right there. Sometimes you find people with longer hair lengths and it's hard for you to really blend into those lengths. But just think, if I debulk with a number 2, I can always blend into a number 2. And I'm going to follow these steps over here, all the way open, fade it all out. Very, very simple fade. So I want you guys to get used to creating a system or using a system and making sure that you do the same thing on both sides. I can't stress that enough. This is how you get consistent haircuts. This is how, when you spin your customer in the mirror, you see the same fade or the same taper on both sides. You have to make sure that, hey, if I went up a 1/4 inch on this side, I have to go up a 1/4 inch on the other side. Make sure that you're paying attention to what you're doing. This man shouldn't walk away with a high taper on one side and a low taper, or a mid taper and a high taper, you know, at the end of the cut. Verify both sides. Don't be afraid to use your mirror. It's your third eye. That's how you guarantee success. I'm back with the masters. Here's my number 1. And one thing, you guys won't get to see it, but this side, he has a cowlick in his beard. It was definitely some work blending in this side on his beard. So now I have my number 1 all the way open, then all the way closed. Flip the clippers over to debulk it without removing too much weight. And here is my purple 0 all the way open. And I close it up a little bit and then I'll close it all the way. And I'm just making sure that I'm lightening this area up without going too high or without taking too much of the weight out, because I wanted to have that dark area, because when I put in his C cup or that curve on the lineup, I want that to be dark without enhancements. You guys will see I will add enhancements in this cut. That is a spoiler alert for those of you guys who hate enhancements. I'm sorry, my boy wanted to be fresh. The haircut is clean either way. You guys know my work by now. You know I'm not an enhancement pusher, but if a person wants it, I have it readily available for them, and this is what we do. So I can't push my views on a customer. If they like it, we want to make sure that we provide it for them. So you guys stick around. I'll show you guys my method of how I apply enhancements. So I just picked out his beard, get him nice and clean. Now we're going to start on his beard line. Then we'll finish the beard out, and then we'll go and finish up his edge up. Notice I'm taking my time. I'm making sure that this line is crisp. I'm making sure that when I place my trimmers down, it's the same spot every time. That's how you get a nice crispy line without pushing the hairline in too much. Make sure that you're always pushing that same line. And right there, I was asking him, I said, hey, do you do the inside of your beard or do you leave it natural? Never assume that a customer wants you to do the inside of their beard. Some people love it, some people hate it. Therefore, you should always ask what they want. Same thing with the beard line. Some people like it pushed down on top. Some people like it as high as it can go. So make sure that before you do anything, you know what your customer wants, especially when they are a first time appointment. I set my appointments for haircut and beard 45 minutes, but if it's your first time in the shop, it's an hour long. And for that hour, so for a haircut and beard, I charge $50. Before that hour, I charge $60. And that's even if you're just getting a haircut only, or if you just came in for beard only, because I want to set that time aside for a consultation so that whatever you desire will be selected and made complete. You'll get the look that you want because we took the time and made sure that you look the way that you desire to look. So as you can see now, I've already picked out his beard, and I'm taking those sharp surgical blade and I'm going straight down on the side. This is the shape that he wanted. I'll have him look up, and I'm making sure that I get up under there. Don't be afraid to have your clients look up or turn their head to the left or right, whatever you need them to do so that you can do the job that they came for you to do and the job that you're prepared to do. So as you can see, that thing is getting nice and clean. Now we'll start on the edge up. As you can see, I prefer to start in the middle. One thing that he was pointing out in the beginning of the video is how thin his edge up is right there in the front. It's not as thick as everywhere else. His hair is much less dense in that area, which is one of the reasons he wanted the enhancements, which he won't need, but he's been getting a lot of bad haircuts. He's like, man, they just won't do it the way I want them to. And a funny story is, when I first met him, we were in the Premiere Orlando show, and I was like, bro, you have to let me cut your hair. And you know what he said? Nah, I don't know you. And mind you, like, we all are like Tomb 45 friends and family, right? So my guy, he goes and he lets Beam cut his hair, and I'm like, come on, bro. This dude turned me down, then he let my boy Beam cut it. So I was like, I made him in my mind that day, I was like, bro, I'm never cutting his hair. If he ever asked me, I'm saying no. But here we are 3 years, 4 years later, however long it's been, and I'm cutting his hair. And he drove 11 hours for me to cut it. I'm just saying, back then they didn't want me. We gonna leave it at that. So as you can see, it's always detailed, clean lining, no matter where you're at. If it's under the neck, if it's behind the ear, make sure that you're putting in that detail, putting every stroke in, making sure that it is clean as possible. So I didn't want to speed this up too fast. I wanted you guys to have a full length haircut. For some of you guys have never cut hair before. Some of you guys are beginners. Some of you guys are experts, and some people just want to watch for entertainment. So I wanted to provide everything that you would need for your enjoyment or for your education. So as you can see, his hairline is, you have to make him a hairline. You have to. You got to push some hair back. That's why I made that last video. It's called a professional pushback, but you don't overdo it. You only take off what you need to. So as you see, I kind of lean back. I'll do it again right here. Step back and make sure that both of those curves are equal at the top. So that way you don't have one that's an inch long, the other one is 1.5 inches long. You know, you always want to kind of step back and verify, how is this looking? Is it coming out clean? Is it coming out evenly? And does the fade look the same? Always step back and check your work. So right now we're adding the enhancements. I'm sorry, I apologize earlier, but here's the enhancements for you guys. As you can see, he doesn't need it at all, but for your viewing purposes, for your enjoyment, I'll show you guys how to do it. So I'm using the Tomb 45 color card from Sean Cuts Hair, and I'm just using some fibers. Yes, I know when he washes hair, it's coming out. Yes, I know that. Like I said, he's a barber. He knows that. But this is what we got going on today. And once I do this and I put the enhancements in, I grab my air compressor and I'll begin to blow the fibers out, because what that's going to do is knock off anything that's not catching to his hair. I love these fibers. I think these fibers are from a company called Folic Tech. One thing I like about it is they stick to the hair very, very well. So even when I hit it with the air compressor, a lot of those fibers are going to actually stick to his hair. So I'm really blowing and it's not coming all the way out. So what I'm doing right now is just lightly tapping. We've already got the edge up in there, but we're just going to take the excess fibers off. Before, I haven't actually put any holding spray down. So I just noticed that it's usually kind of harder to clean up the fibers once you put the holding spray down. So what I'm doing right now is just knocking the fibers off, and then I'll put the holding spray and just clean it up one more time, a little bit with the trimmers, and make sure that nothing is left behind and that he looks as good as possible. Look at this guy, man. It's coming together. This is a trick right here. I put the spray in his hair. So you guys see a lot of barbers like cleaning up with the trimmers or with the clippers. They'll go and freehand that. But with that gotta be glue, which is what I used on his head, me just patting it down with the dryer, his hair looks like he's had a do-rag on already. And as you can see, this is in the middle of the cut. He hasn't had a do-rag at all. So right now I'm just cleaning them up with the razor, and we're just putting the finishing touches on this cut, man. Look how clean his beard is. Everything is coming together, and this is amazing transformation. You guys stick around to where I give you like that nice slow-mo spin. Y'all just got to see it. It's coming up shortly. I hope you guys are learning. I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you guys are finding any value, if you heard anything you've never known or is new to you, go ahead and like this video right now, subscribe, and stick around. Check out more of my videos and learn and grow with me. If you guys hate this video, make sure you give me a thumbs down, but don't leave it there. Let me know why you hate this video. Leave me a comment below. All right, and just in case you guys forgot what he looked like, here's the before. As barbers, we don't get to pick who comes into our shop, but I'm here to show that with a thorough consultation and proper execution, they can leave out looking like this. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching this video in its entirety. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, leave a comment and I'll guarantee to get back to every single one of you guys. If you watched this video and you liked it, thumbs up, share it with a friend. Once again, I am Christopher Manyweather. This is Deadstock Barbershop, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
On my leg and told me it's raining.
Why is that so hard, bro? He drove 1,000 miles. In case they, oh man.
Realizing that the world is flawed. And I was hard. It's the same.